Hi, I'm Bill Patrick. The program you're about to see is part of a vintage series called Car and Track, which was originally produced during the first half of the 1970s. Before we begin the show, though, a brief program note. Using as many as 8 cameras to shoot a single event, Car and Track captured some of the great NASCAR competitions of the era, one race at a time. Over the course of some 80 episodes through 6 seasons, series producer and host Bud Lindeman lovingly documented a unique era in American motor racing. While the race action contained in the series remains timeless, the program itself has not dated quite so gracefully. Although the years have not been overly kind to Bud's decidedly low-key introductions and interviews, we believe them to be an integral part of this one-of-a-kind series. So please, stay with us now as Speed Vision presents a rare slice of 1970s Americana, Car and Track.
This has been a fantastic year for the championship division of USAC. They sent the speed limit soaring at Indianapolis and broke all the records when they arrived at MIS. And it's that Michigan 200 that we're featuring on the show today. We have a road test on American Motors' Mighty Mite, the Gremlin, plus another look at the Olds Cutlass with the 442 package. You know, we received so much mail on this road test earlier this year that we thought about ringing it out again, this time a little harder. I'll have it warmed up for you and ready right after this message.
The love affair between men and cars is an old story, and the reasons for it are many. Probably the strongest is the thrill that a true car lover feels from the power, agility, and responsiveness of a truly fine automobile. We in America are at a time when concern for safety and environment are threatening much of what makes men love cars. Here we test an Oldsmobile 442 convertible, a car that has just about everything that car lovers love.
Convertibles have been on the way out for years, yet this Olds is clean, husky, and handsome. The front is uncluttered, with a down-to-business feeling about it. It's a muscle machine, and they haven't tried to hide it. The 442 sits wide on the road, big enough to enjoy even if you have friends. Under the hood, the biggest of the big in the cubic inch race, the Olds 455 Cube V8, with all the goodies that have made W30 synonymous with power. It's a strong, smooth engine that's always ready to put the torque where you need it. We knew it'd run. It gave us 0 to 30 in 2.7 seconds, the kind of acceleration you may never use until that one time on the road. The 442 stopped the clock at 4.9 seconds for 0 to 50. It always came on straight and sure. 0 to 70 is a long haul, but the Olds did it in 7.3 seconds. It all proves that the juice is there if you ever need it to get out of the way. They're no good if they don't handle. The Olds dance through the tight pylon course like a ballerina. Never a loss of control. Minimum body roll, quick, sure steering. If this car runs the pylons like this, it'll forgive any sudden movement of the wheel on the highway. It'll do what a good car is supposed to. A slow motion look at that again, and it appears easy. Notice how the front and rear stay together. The Oldsmobile engineers have done this one right on. It's a 3,600-pound brute, but it steers and handles like a lightweight. Front-wheel disc brakes have been a blessing to strong cars. This 442 stopped from 30 miles an hour in 37 feet. 30 doesn't sound like much until you have to throw the anchor out. It took our driver 87 feet to halt the Olds at 50 miles an hour. There's still time enough for a heads-up driver. 70 miles per hour is fast, but we've all been on highways where it's the cruising speed. The Olds used up 191 feet to a standstill from 70. When you're driving that fast, you better leave some room. Oh, that convertible and that great feeling of freedom. On the tight corners, it sat low, went where it was sent. Spinning a car out in reverse is the best test of stability there is. And the 442 came out of this one like a champ. If it doesn't misbehave here, it never will. An expert driver can make any car do tricks, but it was especially easy in this Oldsmobile. There wasn't a button on it that didn't come from the factory. Nothing that any buyer couldn't order. And the stock heavy-duty suspension was all that anyone would ever need for the security and enjoyment of hard cornering. Finely engineered suspension will never be on the anti-auto list. It doesn't add to the pollution, and it doesn't make a car anything but safer and more pleasurable to drive. The 442 W30 suspension is one of the best. No, we haven't said anything bad about this car. Matter of fact, we've kind of enjoyed throwing it the accolades. Sure, we could have nitpicked about the ashtray or the rear legroom or something, but there was so much to like in the 442, and we're going to miss what progress takes from it.
Rumors fly about as fast as the cars at racetracks. And after the sizable increase in speeds at Indianapolis this year, the prognosticators were almost unanimous in their prediction of the first 200-mile-an-hour lap when the championship cars came to Michigan International Speedway. Well, it looked as though their predictions would come true. Bobby Unser had been running like there was no tomorrow. And a couple of weeks before the race, during tire tests at MIS, Gordy Johncock was unofficially clocked at over 201 miles per hour. Well, the elements have a way of upsetting the crystal ball gazers. Gusty winds gave the drivers some problems during qualifying and held Bobby Unser to a 199.778 and checked Johncock at 198.129. Well, while they didn't make the elusive 200-mile-an-hour mark, they were the fastest times the Indy cars ever recorded. So for us, covering this race was a must.
By any standards, these championship cars are the ultimate in racing sophistication. The lightest, fastest, and most powerful machines ever to run on a closed-course oval. They're considered by most to be the epitome in open cockpit racing. Today, here at Michigan International Speedway, this championship division of the United States Auto Club is rewriting the record book. They came within only a blink of an eye away from the coveted 200-mile-an-hour lap. Bobby Unser, the pole sitter, qualified at 199.778 miles per hour. Gordon Johncock, the second fastest, rapped out a blistering 198.129. As the signal was given to start engines, the air was filled with tension, not only on the part of the spectators, but the drivers as well, because the experts were predicting the fastest race ever run. Bobby Unser's Oldsonite Eagle starting up front is the white number 6. Gordon Johncock starts alongside in the Gulf McLaren 24. In the second row, the Sunoco McLaren 7 is driven by Gary Bettenhausen. Swede Savage is on his side in number 18. The third row features Billy Vukovic in car 3 and Mario Andretti in the Viceroy Special number 9. In the fourth row, it's 40, Wally Dallenbach, and car 4, Al Unser. With all cars holding position well, out of the fourth turn, they screamed out for the green flag, and they're off. Bobby Unser fires off the pole to grab the early lead. Johncock is second, Andretti third. Here they are out of the fourth turn, the end of the first lap, and wound up. Johncock is pressing Unser hard. Down the long back straightaway, Gordy Johncock finds a hole on the inside of Unser and moves up to challenge. It's a head-to-head duel through 3, but as they enter turn 4, Gordy outpunches Unser and takes the lead. Down the front chute, Unser comes back. Then between 1 and 2, Johncock finds out his Gulf McLaren is really handling when he stands on it and rockets away from the field to take a firm hold on the number 1 spot. Suddenly, it happened. For no apparent reason, Merle Bettenhausen lost it coming out of turn 2 and crashed into the outside rail, bringing out the first caution flag of the day. Jimmy Hurtubise, who was following Bettenhausen, said Merle started fishtailing through the turn, then lunged toward the rail. His right front wheel hit, and the car seemed to explode. He hit the rail so hard, his turbocharger was catapulted into the outfield, where it started a grass fire. The red flag is thrown, and all cars brought to a halt while the crews clean up the track and repair the steel guardrail. The same accident caused Mike Hiss in car 72 to hit the inside retaining wall, and he's out of the race. The impact on Merle Bettenhausen's car is clearly evident when they tow it into the garage area. Merle was taken to the hospital in Ann Arbor to be treated for third-degree burns, and where it was later learned that he lost his right arm due to the accident. Roger Penske withdrew his car from the race, so his driver, Gary Bettenhausen, could accompany his brother to the hospital. With the track cleaned up and inspected, all cars were pushed away for the restart. Johncock in car 24 leads them out of the 4th turn for the green flag, and this race is once again underway. Gordy is flying now and stretching Unser through every turn. The second caution light of the day is out when Jimmy Carruthers blows his engine and spreads oil all the way down the front chute. Johncock was the first to pit under the yellow for what appeared to be a routine stop, but they found a broken oil line, and it kept him in for 4 laps. Then the red flag was thrown to give the sweepers a chance to clean up the track. After 25 minutes under the red flag, Bobby Unser leads the field down for another restart. Mario Andretti passes Savage to take over the second place spot. Al Unser is running 4th with Joey Leonard moving into 5th. White 6, driven by Bobby Unser, is handling very well, and the only car that's closing on him is Gordy Johncock in number 24, but he's 4 laps down due to his long pit stop for the faulty oil line. Johncock has just been clocked at over 197 miles per hour. He's trying desperately to make up for the time lost in the pits. On lap 40, another yellow flag is out. This time it's for Dick Muther, who blew a piston in his blue and white number 98. Several drivers take this opportunity to pit. With Muther's car towed off the track, the green is out, and Bobby Unser resumes his front spot. Andretti is 2nd. Joey Leonard has moved into 3rd with Wally Dallenbach 4th. Johncock is still pouring it on as he passes Andretti on the front chute in an all-out effort to get into the same lap with the leaders. Now Gordy closes the gap on Bobby Unser. Through the third and fourth turn, Gordy blasts around Unser on the high side. That Gulf McLaren sticks wherever he puts it, high or low. He's still 3 laps down, but there's no doubt in anyone's mind as to which is the fastest car on the track. Al Unser pulls his Viceroy Special number 4 into the pits. He's had handling problems all day. Now they find a broken unit in the suspension system. Al is out of the car and out of the race. But he's not alone, as brother Bobby pulls his Olsenite Eagle down low on the apron and heads for pit row. When the crew checks Bobby's car out, they find a broken connecting rod and push it behind the wall. 3 laps later, Johncock pits again. He's still having troubles with the oil line, and has for the last 3 races. But when it's running right, it flies. Johncock's car is pushed out onto the track while Bobby Unser's is pushed into the garage. Meanwhile, on the track, Mario Andretti has inherited the lead. Mel Kenyon is now second. Joey Leonard holds down the 3rd spot. Again, Johncock passes Andretti to knock 1 more lap off his minus column. So far, every leader has had problems and ends up behind the wall. Mario Andretti is no exception as he pulls his Viceroy number 9 into the pits with a busted ring and pinion. Mario's hopes of victory lane just went down the drain. The new leader is Mel Kenyon, driving number 23, the Gilmore Eagle. Joey Leonard is second and moving up. Leonard, Dallenbach, and Snyder are running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, but Kenyon has a strong lead and ignores his crew's signal to pit for fuel. Number 44, Dick Simon, pits his Travelodge Special for a handling adjustment. With 3 laps to go, Leonard is wound up tight trying to catch Kenyon. This could be a close one. Oh, no. With a lap and a half to go, Mel Kenyon pulls off the track and onto the grass. He just ran the tank dry. And Joey Leonard screams under the white flag. Now, if he can stay in the race for one more lap, he'll have it. Here he is out of the fourth turn down the front chute for the checkered flag. Joey Leonard wins the Michigan 200 with a second place spot going to Wally Dallenbach. Third goes to a disappointed and out of gas Mel Kenyon, who receives a very embarrassing tow back to the garage.
You know, the first time we tested the Gremlin, reaction ran the full gamut. While some thought it was the cutest car on the road, there were even more who thought it was the ugliest thing ever to pop off the end of an assembly line. However, no one told us whether or not they'd ever buy one. Well, the Gremlin has been in the marketplace for quite a while now. It's not only sold, but results have been exceptionally good. So it looks like we're going to have Little Ugly around for a while.
With the Gremlin, American Motors hopes to be remembered as the company that got there first. The front half is pure Hornet. It's in the rear they go their separate ways. The Gremlin's wheelbase has been shortened by 1 foot to 96 inches. That's 2 inches longer than the VW. With anything heavy, the up and over process of loading can be a little difficult through this rear window. This is the free sunroof that allows you and Carol to enjoy the sun in the morning, the moon at night, and an occasional glimpse at a passing bird. For power, our tester had the 258 cubic inch 6, delivering 150 horsepower. We needed this additional power with the air conditioner. In the acceleration runs, it took 4.1 seconds to make 30 miles an hour. On the way to 45 miles an hour, the clock ate up 6 seconds. Without any wheel spin or excessive tire wear, we made 60 miles an hour in 10.4 seconds. While this may not be newsworthy enough to write home about, it is better than the times of the other domestic minis. In the braking tests, the Gremlin left something to be desired. From 30 miles an hour, we stopped in 41 feet. On the higher speed stops, they got hot. The pedal faded severely, and from 50, it took 94 feet. In the 70-mile-an-hour panic stops, the short wheelbase aggravated the process. Nosedive was excessive. On this one, we chewed rubber for 214 feet. With 58% of the weight in the nose, the car displayed the same front-end dive tendency when we ran through the pylon course. In the front, the Gremlin has independent suspension with coil springs, upper wishbones, and lower arms with leading struts. Our maximum speed through the cones was about 40 miles an hour. Here's the same run head-on in slow motion. Now you can notice excessive body lean, rebound and recovery only fair. This one kind of makes you dizzy, but if you're interested, the turning radius is about 35.5 feet. For a suspension system in the rear, they employ a solid axle with leaf springs identical to the Hornet, except that in this car, with the reduced rear overhang, the leaf springs had to be cut shorter than in the Hornet. This caused some axle hop during the acceleration runs and gave the rear end a light, squirrely feel while cornering. When going into a turn, the car has strong understeer, and there's a far cry from enough power to bring it anywhere near neutral. On the good side of the ledger, it's heavier than its competition, thus giving it more stability in a crosswind. It has more power, enabling better acceleration and passing. And when you see it on the road, you don't mistake it for anything else.